Hello there Scapers, my name is Xenavilius and today brings a potentially groundbreaking update to Runescape Combat, potentially the biggest update since EOC came out. I say potentially because none of this is actually in the game right now, but ModPie has released a statement talking about the status of 4-tick auto-attacking. Before we get into that, let's talk about what it actually is, which I didn't know about until 3 hours ago, guys. I just started to learn about it to make this video, and it was something I considered to do earlier, but I didn't get round to it until now. So as you see me trying to learn it in the background, let me explain what it actually is very quickly. So in RuneScape you have auto attacks which depend on the speed of the weapon, and the damage they do is based on the weapon as well. So a slower weapon would do more damage per auto attack, a faster weapon would do less. For example, a wand has a speed of 4, so it's 4 ticks being 0.6 times 4, 2.4 seconds between attacks. A staff has a speed of 6, so 3.6 seconds between each auto attack. And the damage is scaled such that over time the DPS from auto attacking is the same for both staff and wand, and this is the same for all the other styles as well. However, for mage only, what you are able to do is interweave the high auto attack damage of a staff with using abilities using a lot of manual input, and this would give you around a 7% DPS increase. You can see me trying to do it in the background, but it basically involves doing an ability with dual wield, switching to your staff, waiting for the 4-tick mark. The global cooldown of all abilities is 3 ticks or 1.8 seconds. However, if you wait until the circle finishes, the circle that denotes the global cooldown, when all the abilities refresh and flash, and then use your auto attack, i.e. use a spell from your action bar, at the same time as using another ability, you are able to get the hit of the auto attack alongside the hit of the ability. So essentially you got a nice 7% DPS increase without actually bug abusing. This was something they were aware of, something they did not do much about, because they thought that only elite level players would actually use this given the amount of effort it took. But it became a lot more popular, and something called continuous 4-tick auto attacking came into the spotlight. Now this I have not tried, so correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, this exploits a bug which allows you to use the normally 6-tick auto attack of a staff every 4 ticks instead, by switching to a staff straight after an ability, waiting for that 4-tick mark, casting the auto attack with the staff, and then switching back to your dual wield to do your ability. Allowed you to do continuous 4-tick auto attacking, a method that granted you about 15% extra DPS for a lot of effort, mind you, for a lot of effort, and some may even say people macroed it. But the fact of the matter is that 15% was huge, and it exploited a bug, an unintentional bug, but a bug nevertheless. And Jagex didn't really do anything about it until now, because it just became more and more popular. It became more and more of a requirement for high-level PvM teams. And when that starts to happen, as ModPie says, it becomes a bit of a concern. I mean, you don't want it to become a requirement for high-level PvM. It requires a lot of skill, a lot of effort, but should it really be in the game? That was the question, and their answer to it is that at some point in the near future they're going to remove this ability, not entirely, but they're going to nerf it. So these are the changes they're going to make. They're going to remove continuous 4-tick auto-attacking by making it a minimum of 6 ticks before you can auto-attack again with a staff. Therefore you cannot do this method of auto-attacking with a staff every 4 ticks, exploiting that bug. Not that I ever tried it, because I'm just too newbie to try it. All you saw me do in the background was normal 4-tick auto-attacking, but this removes that straight away. The second thing they will be doing is that they have also nerfed the normal 4-tick auto-attacking by delaying your auto-attack swing, if you like, by a minimum of 5 ticks straight after you cast an ability. So right now, with 4-tick auto-attacking, you are using an auto auto attack about every 7 ticks, which is also about 4 ticks after your dual wield ability. You won't be able to do this anymore. You'll have to wait an extra tick or even 2 extra ticks because they said a minimum of 5 ticks. So this will affect your DPS. Without doing any calculations, I can't tell whether it will still be worth doing normal 4-tick auto attacking by waiting an extra tick, but it will definitely be harder to keep track of that because you won't have the global cooldown reset to have a visual aid. Another important point is that they are not going to do this. They're not going to add an auto attack ability to the other styles. Mage was by far and away the best combat style for those people that could exploit this method. But now it looks like they're going to balance it, and they're going to do it in 3 different ways by adding a ton of content to each of the 3 different combat styles. Note that these are initial suggestions which may or may not happen. Hopefully they will, but they may tweak it and balance it before they release it. So for magic, there's going to be a new dual wield magic threshold from Shattered Worlds, which will allow you to cast auto attacks in between your basic abilities, as well as gain a bonus damage on your auto attacks for each unique damaging spell you use while this buff is up. This will also work if you switch to a staff, so they're somewhat reinstating what 4-tick auto attack used to do without the element of constantly having to switch, I suppose. Although none of this is certain, it's up to interpretation what this actually means. They haven't given any numbers either, so it's very difficult to sort of quantify what this means. The good thing is that they're not entirely nerfing the ability to auto attack with a spell in between using abilities. That is still a thing. It will just not deal as much DPS as it did with continuous and normal 4-tick auto attacking, but it's still a thing, so who knows, it may still make Mage worthwhile. But the good thing is that they're adding a couple of other things to the other styles as well. The first one is ranged. This is the one I'm really excited about personally. So with Solak, not only will you have the new tier 92 crossbows, but you will also get a new ranged ability, which is awesome. This ability will allow you to reduce your global cooldown from 1.8 seconds to 1.2 seconds for a short time. Don't know how long that short time is going to be, but hopefully they will balance it out before they release it. So instead of 3 ticks, it's going to be 2 ticks between abilities, guys. That has huge implications. Firstly, you're going to be able to gain adrenaline 33% faster. Secondly, you're going to be able to do a ton more DPS. And thirdly, it's going to allow you to time your abilities much better, depending on the situation of the fight. And the reason I get really excited about this is because ranged has been so underpowered since the evolution of combat. Melee and magic have had it their way for far too long, and ranged has just been in the shadows, pardon the pun. And I think this should hopefully bring it back to the spotlight, along with a potential Hex Hunter bow buff, which I'm still waiting for. So that would be nice, Jagex, if you could do that as well. Thank you very much. What it will also do is allow you to move around, which Death Swiftness doesn't allow you to do, whereas there's Meta for magic and Berserk for melee, which allows you to move around while using those, so this will be a good thing for that. It will also be a good thing for your ability rotation alongside Death Swiftness, the same way the ZGS spec is. Hopefully the ability won't be as expensive as the ZGS is, but this is by far the one I'm most excited about. But number 3, melee. The first thing is that Bladed Dive, which now you can use outside of the global cooldown, but you won't be able to damage an opponent if you use it outside of a global cooldown. Now you can actually damage an opponent as well. I'm not sure how much effect this is going to have because I don't know a lot of people use this in order to damage an enemy. They use it more for mobility purposes. However, I can see this being useful for PvP. Not that I am a PvPer, but nevertheless, there we go. And a few other situations, very niche situations as well. And something new for melee. Now, melee has had 3 different types of weapons: stabbing, slashing, and crushing. A lot of the high-level weapons that are in the game right now are slashing. There are a few stabbing and crushing as well, but they're going to add an effect to all stabbing weapons, which is that they have a chance, an unknown chance, to not incur global cooldown. This includes, most importantly, the Drygor Rapiers and the tier 92 dual wield Kopeshas. I'm guessing this will increase the value, although this doesn't mean only stabbing weapons will get an ability. There will hopefully be other abilities to the other types of weapons in the future, but for now what they've released info about is that all stabbing abilities will have a chance not to incur global cooldown, which will allow you to instantly attack with another ability. The implication of this is that if you're paying attention, i.e. it won't work with Revolution, if you're paying attention you'll be able to do a lot more DPS. And even though the effect is randomized, so you won't be able to strategize too much, it should still provide an interesting way of sort of balancing the DPS rates between magic, ranged and melee. And I think the three things they've mentioned, especially the one for ranged, which I'm looking forward to, I can see making combat more exciting, more interesting, and more tactical in terms of not just whacking on Revolution plus and AFKing. You're going to have to not use Revolution for these things to work. All in all, what do I think of it? I think they are really good ideas, and I'm glad they've said that they're looking for some feedback from players before they actually finalize them. Look, it's difficult for me to give an opinion on C40AA and 40AA because I literally only started trying it out 3-4 hours ago, so it wouldn't be fair on me to give a judgment on that. But generally the feedback from the community and even those who regularly use C40AA is that it's just not the way RuneScape should be played by everyone, especially now that it's become such an integral part of high level PvM. So it's a good thing in my opinion that they are nerfing 4-tick auto attacking but keeping the things that made 4-tick auto-attacking more popular. So introducing effects that will allow you to bypass the global cooldown, which I think was a major point of concern for RuneScape as a game compared to other games which don't have that delay between attacks as such. Of course, there are a few concerns, such as how will it work at high enraged telos now that you can't really time your ice barrage on P5. Not that I have any experience of it, my highest enrage is like 110%, but these are actually very valid questions. I hope they will address this particular question and other questions like it. I'm personally looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Solak so much more now that I know that this ranged ability will allow me to cast abilities 33% faster for a short period of time. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be very interested to know. Doesn't matter whether you've done 4-tick auto-attacking or not. I still want to know what you think and what you feel about these updates. There is more information in the description below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.